Well, good afternoon. Good afternoon. It's a pleasant, very pleasant and bright Thursday afternoon in my neck of the woods. So, welcome to Crossroads, Navigating Business Challenges. I'm David Etienne, your host, certified public accountant, and we're coming to you on the Etienne Strategic Management Consulting platform. Okay, so welcome once again, and as usual, I encourage you to definitely log on to our website, etiennestrategicmanagementmc.com. You will see it in due course, streaming along on your screen. Log on, check us out, and go and check out on the various social media platforms. And very importantly, though, that you provide us with your feedback, with your comments, and be part of the conversation as we delve into these topics, subject matter that is very pertinent and important for us as business operators. So again, this is Crossroads, Navigating Business Challenges. So what is it that we want to look at this afternoon? A very, very important subject area, critical for management. And it is cast under the three broad categories of effectiveness, efficiency, and excellence. Effectiveness, efficiency, and excellence. Key components. Each has its unique implications for business success. Of course, the concept of effectiveness, the concept of excellence, efficiencies, those are concepts that is applicable in several different walks of life. We speak about excellence at our job, excellence or competence or effectiveness in different sphere and aspect of our lives. No less so is that critical in our business undertakings. When we talk about effectiveness, in its simplest form, the question is asked, yes, I am doing this thing. Yes, I am undertaking this activity. Yes, I am carrying out this task. But how effective am I? Naturally, in order to measure effectiveness, you must be clear as to what is your ultimate objective. What is your goal? What's the end game? Because that is the only way you'll be able to measure, to rate your undertaking, your activities, by comparing them and evaluating them as to how effective they are in taking you closer to that goal, in taking you closer to that objective. So we talk about operational effectiveness. Operational effectiveness. At the heart of operational effectiveness is the question, what? What? W-H-A-T, what? That's at the heart of it. Okay? What are we doing? What are we doing? Because you can easily consider that there may be a common objective, a common goal that 2 or 3 individuals are pursuing. However, the actions, the steps that they take could differ significantly. And by virtue of the differences in those approaches, you could find individual A reaching that goal long before B and C or C. Or you could find that in the process, A has to be taking a lot of corrective measures. Why? Or change of course, because midstream, he may realize that, oh boy, maybe this is not what we should be doing, because this is not really getting us to where we need to go, or it is not getting us there in the given time frame. So under the heading or when we look at the whole concept of operational effectiveness, the question is always the what question. And that has to do with doing the right thing. And listen very carefully to this concept. Doing the right thing. So you can only be effective if you're doing the right thing. A simple, stupid example. If I want to earn a doctorate in chemistry, and every day I get up, I take up a biology or a botany or a chemistry book, and I read and I study, and I know it inside out, front to back. I'm studying very hard. Yeah, I'm gathering a lot of information, a lot of knowledge. But hey, what was my goal? My goal is to be a physicist. Why am I overcrowding myself with things having to do with biology, botany, etc.? So it is the what question. So three people are working very hard, studying very hard, but what are you studying? What are you undertaking? How effective is that strategy to take you to where you want to go? So again, the concept of operational effectiveness has as its central theme the what question. And the what question anchors into you doing the right thing. That's the only way. That's one of the criteria for effectiveness. Doing the right thing. The right thing. And that is how you're going to have your organization achieving its objective, achieving its predetermined outcome by being effective. Then we're looking now at efficiency. Efficiency. So I want you to follow me very carefully. The what question dealt with effectiveness. Do the right thing. And I looked at a case where three individuals are doing different things. Only one is going to be effective. Now let's change the picture and look at the same three individuals, but they are doing the same thing. So let's put it this way. They all are doing what is necessary to be effective. But the question is, while being effective, are they all being efficient? Efficient. Sometimes in businesses, or even other, walks of life, we use these phrases and these terms interchangeably, not recognizing, or quite often it's not important to really clearly define that line of demarcation between them. But there are certain times, especially when you're thinking about management sciences, you have to be very clear as to what the concepts are. So back to what we're talking about, efficiency. So we all are on the same path, so we all will be effective, because the what we're doing is consistent with what we're trying to achieve. But now let's look at the whole efficiency component. At the heart of efficiency lies the how question. How? Yes, we all are doing the thing, the same thing rather. So we all are being effective. But why is it that Mr. A is much more efficient than Mr. B and Mr. C? There's a reason. And the answer to that question lies in the whole in the what I call the how question. How question. So an individual cooking a meal may decide, I'm going to take my knife and cut up whatever I want to do, cut, and spend the next 20 minutes cutting. The other guy said, you know what, man, pass me the blender, pass me the bullet, and just pour the things in, and you have things nicely blended, ready to go if you're making some juice or whatever. So we all are making juice. We all need to cut up the carrot or to get the carrot, in a state to make juice. But you choose to cut yours with a knife and spend the next 25 minutes cutting. I decide I'm going to just pour the carrot in the blender. Quickly, I get it done. So the question is, how am I approaching the processing of carrot? Okay, on my journey to making carrot juice. So if you notice, both of us are using carrots. So both of us we both are achieving what I call operational effectiveness. But only one is achieving operational efficiency. So at the heart of operational efficiency lies the how question. So the question to consider is whether or not you're doing things right. Listen carefully to those two words. Whether or not you're doing things right. Initially, when we were talking about effectiveness, the question was, are you doing the right thing? Are you doing the right thing? Once we get you to the place where you're doing the right thing, then comes the next question. Okay? Are you doing that thing correctly to achieve the greatest level of efficiency? So in the absence of efficiency, you find that you have to do a lot of what we call rework, doing things over and over to take corrective action. You experience delays, etc., because you're not being efficient. So the how am I approaching this thing? How am I executing this task? Speaks to the whole issue of efficiency. So yes, I need to be effective. The core thing that will ensure or enhance my effectiveness is ensuring that I'm doing the right thing. So it is the what am I doing? And if I want to visit the whole concept of efficiency, then this core question has to be a how question. How am I doing it? Okay, so do the right thing and do that thing right. Okay, very important concept. So let's now move to the third component. That's excellence. Excellence. Now, there is a vagueness. There's a vagueness about the concept of excellence. Now, if you have a predetermined measurement, if you predetermine that excellence at its highest point is when you have filled this bottle to the top. If that is your measure of excellence, then you can objectively determine when you have attained excellence. Because while the bottle is filling up, okay, I'm reaching there, I'm going there, but I am not at that point where I say I am operating excellently. So excellence in describing it and in measuring it and in determining how close you are to attaining it is easy if you have a predetermined measuring rod for excellence. Excellence, however, is not usually seen in that regard. Excellence has to do with what we call in the business arena value proposition. Value proposition. And from the mere fact that I use the word value should communicate to you that it is not all that black and white or concrete. Because if you recall, maybe a couple weeks back, I spoke of value as opposed to price. Because as you and I know, value is highly subjective. Value is highly subjective. And so a 25-cent ring may be much more valuable to me than a $3,000 ring. Does that make sense? It may not. And that's the thing about value. Okay? Because if my high school sweetheart was the one who gave me this 25-cent ring, then the value that I ascribe to that ring, that 25-cent ring, no $3,000 ring that I just go to the jewelers and buy could ever compare. Yes, it's an expensive piece of jewelry. However, it carries nothing close to the value that I attach to this 25-cent ring given to me by my high school sweetheart. So when we talk about excellence, at the heart of excellence comes the question, and the question in this case is why? Follow me carefully. Okay, the central theme or the driving question when you consider excellence is why? Why am I doing this and not something else? Why? Now, an organization's what you call value proposition is primarily to its stakeholders and to itself. And when we talk about value proposition, we're really looking at what it is that this organization is bringing to or offering its stakeholders. And remember now, stakeholders would be just, all the persons who have to interact. Shareholders, yes, customers, suppliers, etc., etc. So there's this concept of the value proposition. And that value proposition is at the heart of excellence. And the question that is asked whenever excellence is being contemplated, it is always a why question. And that is why excellence is usually a discussion topic that takes place at the highest level in an organization. That is where board of directors, president, chairman will speak of the organization's culture, the organizational's value proposition, and that is where they will say, why are we doing this? Is it time for us to discontinue doing this, whatever it is, and shift gear? So it's always why. And whenever the question why is asked in that context, then there must always be a firm, clear, confident response to this question. Whenever you find at that level that the question, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, why are we doing this? And there are answers that are vague and evasive, then it is saying that maybe we're at the point where our value proposition needs to be revisited because we are not firm and clear in our response to the why question. Why are we doing this? And that is where excellence comes into the whole picture. So when you put all three components together, when you put effectiveness with efficiency, and then you add excellence, you end up with a package. You end up with a package that will not necessarily 100% guarantee, but I can guarantee you that it will put you 90 plenty percentage close to achieving the results that you seek. Although it is best and it is desirable to have all three in the package, the truth is, organizations sometimes have a little bit of difficulty capturing all three. And even if you're good, very good at one or two, it will never adequately make up for you not being so good at the third. And it's easy to see. Because if you're good in the efficiency department, because basically you're doing things right, you ever hear the term that you're doing the right thing for the wrong reason? Yeah, you're doing the right thing for the wrong reason. And so that's what it's about here. Because effectiveness is speaking to doing the right thing. Efficiency is saying do the thing right. So you could be doing something very right, but that's not the thing that is required for you to attain effectiveness. So you could be as efficient as you want. You could excel in what you're doing. If you're doing the wrong thing, then you will never attain effectiveness. This may have a highfalutin, even academic undertone to it. But if you think about it, it is applicable at every and any level of business management. Okay? Because if I'm saying that you need to do the right thing and you need to do that thing right, then hey, if you're a multi-million-dollar organization or you're a mom and pop around the corner, yeah, it applies to you just the same. It applies to you just the same. The sad thing, however, is that, small business operators, they feel that they're so busy trying to manage the little inventory, manage the cash flow, manage the staff, they're overwhelmed. And so not much time is spent to even contemplate on these things. And so sometimes you find that, things are just going and going and business is just deteriorating. And you're there wondering, man, I'm working 18 hours per day. I'm doing all that I can. Why is it that I'm not getting ahead? I need to consult with someone because something is just not right. And then I'm going to say a consultant. Someone comes in and just look at what you're doing and say, but tell me something. The objective or the business model, the objective of your organization is to do ABC, is to achieve ABC. Yes. So why is it that you're busy undertaking activities 1, 2, 3? I cannot readily see a connection, a nexus between where you're trying to go, what you're trying to achieve, and what you're doing. Okay, so remember, it is applicable at every level. Now, the question or the claim could be made that, yeah, these are all good stuff. Yeah, desirable, commendable stuff. But then, how do we achieve them? How do we achieve them? I'm going to introduce two additional terms in the discussion. Okay? Two additional terms. One is technical competence. Technical competence, that's one term, and the other is professional acumen. Technical competence and professional acumen. Let's look at technical competence. The words tell you what it's about. Technical competence. There are certain activities that need to be undertaken. There are certain tasks that need to be carried out. There's a level of expertise, technical know-how that is required to effectively do this thing. So even when we go back to effectiveness, when we're saying you're to do the right thing, you could have successfully identified the right thing. But the question is, do you have the technical competence to execute that right thing? So if you identify, okay, this is what we need to be doing, hip hip hooray, but hey, I don't think we have anybody on staff that can actually do it for us. Well, hey, you gotta find that resource from somewhere. So we talk about technical competence, very important. Now, the technical competence is usually naturally at the operational level. And that is why we're talking about operational effectiveness, operational efficiency, and operational excellence. And so we are expecting, or we're hoping that we will have a level of technical competence, because that is what's required at the operational level in order to attain these effectiveness, efficiency, and excellence we talk about, especially effectiveness and efficiency. Now, when we come to professional acumen, professional acumen has to do with the keenness of mind, the clarity of reason, of reasoning. It has to do with the depth of your perception. Okay? All those concepts tend to sound like, okay, they're way up in the sky. How do we pin down those concepts? We've introduced the whole concept of discernment. And I know the word discernment is more used a lot in religious circle, you know. You must have discernment. What on earth is discernment? Huh? You must be able to, as it were, put yourself in a situation and be able to take from it what is not readily obvious. Okay, you have to have that gift, you know, that ability to sit in a boardroom, sit in a meeting, listen to the exchange of conversation, hear the fors and the against arguments, and then come away with a broad picture, but one that can see, read, and understand between the lines. That is the keenness we're talking about, okay? That's the depth of perception. That is the discernment. If I go back to the third, which is operational excellence, you will find that the professional acumen is a major and significant component to achieving that organizational excellence, because that is where the policies are made. That is where the organizational direction is determined. That is where the decision is made to let's continue on this path or let us change course. That is where a decision is made. Yes, gentlemen, our business model is still sound, or it is time to revamp it. So all these things feed into the attainment of excellence. But all these things being at the what I call macro level of an organization then speaks to, as I indicated, board of directors, chairman, CEO, all those guys. And they are the ones who are the decision makers. They are the ones who chart the course, okay? Set the path so that the technical people can follow. And so if you're going to be a Moses for an organization, if you're going to be a Moses to lead that organization, okay, from then to there, then of course, you must have vision, you must have perception, you must have discernment. And so we talk about technical competence, very important, especially in order to attain efficiency and effectiveness. Then we look now at this word professional acumen. That is what's going to a large extent, determine the attainment, the ease with which, or the likelihood of attaining that operational excellence, because that is the one that speaks to the organization's value proposition. Value proposition. And that's about it for me for today. Okay? There's a lot more that we could say, yes, but I thought that it would be very important for us to look at those components. Look at those components. See exactly how they fit into the overall structure of efficient business management. See how to ignore these things or to give them less attention than they require, not just deserve, but require, would be to encourage challenges, difficulties, problems that could have been otherwise averted. So what do we do at Crossroads, huh? Tell me, what do we do at Crossroads? We hold your hand and we assist you to navigate these business challenges. Some business challenges are obvious. They look at you straight in the eye and say, here I am. Some are more subtle. Some are more subtle. And these concepts and what they speak to and what they require are some of the more subtle ones. Because you spend years and years chomping away thinking, man, I'm on the road. Yes, you're on the road, my brother, but that road leads to South Carolina. Didn't you say that you're heading to Florida? So why are you traveling on this road? You see? So to close it, effectiveness. Do the right thing. Do the right thing. That is the only way to be effective. Efficient. If you want to be efficient, then you must do that thing in the correct way. Do the thing right. That is where you're going to obtain your efficiency. And the third component is our organizational or operational excellence. And this is where we talk about the why. Why am I doing it? Why am I doing it? And so we put everything together and we have what I call, well, it's not a perfect storm. It's the perfect solution. We have the perfect solution for the challenges that may come up. That's my bit. That's my bit. So remember now, go onto our website, check out our social media platform, and subscribe, like, comment, okay? Be a part of the discussion, the conversation, and of course, share with others, and let's keep the communication and the conversation going. So that's it for me for another Crossroads, navigating business challenges. And so I wish for you a wonderful rest of the week. Tomorrow is weekend, and then we start it all over on Monday, huh? But until then, This is David Etienne saying bye for now, and we'll be talking.
Go to etnstrategicmc.com. Check out the latest episode of Crossroads, Navigating Business Challenges, with David Etienne.